Surrey condos are turning into a nightmare for a lot of owners. You can't sell it, you can't rent it, and you definitely can't afford to keep it the way you're keeping it right now. Stick around till the end so you know exactly whether you should sell, hold, or reposition your Surrey condo before this market gets worse for you. All right, let's jump straight into the truth about Surrey's condo market. No fluff, no sugarcoating, just jumping into the real picture of what's happening and what you might need to do next. Because right now I'm getting message after message from Surrey and Langley homeowners saying, Dan, why isn't my condo selling? Why did the value drop so fast? Why is everyone lowballing me? Should I rent it? Should I wait it out? Should I hold it? And honestly, the questions all come from the same root problem. The Surrey condo market flipped hard in the last 12 months. Price per square foot is down and days on market are up. The entire environment changed and most owners didn't notice until they were already stuck. So let me break down exactly what happened from November 2024 to November 2025, why it matters, and your actual options today. If you want to break down for your specific address, you can text me anytime at 604-288-7592, and let's get straight into the numbers. So here's the part nobody likes hearing, but everyone needs to hear. In November 2024, the benchmark condo price across Surrey was sitting around $550,000. Fast forward to November 2025, and that number has dropped to $509,000. That's a 7.7% decline year over year. And Surrey is not even the worst case scenario. And the general Surrey area is not the worst case scenario. Certain spots like North Surrey, so Guildford, Fraser Heights, and parts of the central area are down 9.8% from November 2024 to November 2025. Whalley saw the steepest decline in the entire region, down about 10% year over year. So when you hear down 7 to 10%, this is not vague or emotional. It's a direct comparison of this November to last November. A full year of loss in condo equity, a full year of buyers gaining leverage and sellers losing leverage. If you bought any time between 2022 and mid 2023, there was a very good chance your condo was worth less today than what you paid. And that's not you doing anything wrong. It's just the market we're in right now. Now let's talk demand, because this is why so many condo listings are sitting stale. Back in late 2024, Surrey still had pretty normal condo activity, but month after month as interest rates stayed high and inventory climbed, sales began tapering off. By November 2025, the drop in demand wasn't just noticeable, it was brutal. Surrey recorded only 13 condo sales, which is a 40.9% drop from the same month last year. North Surrey down 52.3%, and Whalley also down 52.3%. Just think about that. Half of the buyers who existed last year are gone. When 50% of the buyers leave the market, you now have more listings competing, pickier buyers, longer wait times, lower offers, a tougher negotiating position, and a condo that took 12 days to sell last year might take 45, 60, or even 120 days in this environment. And when a listing sits, buyers ask, what's wrong with it? Why hasn't it sold? Should I offer lower? And that's how the downward cycle accelerates. Next, we're going to talk about inventory, because this is the number that tells me exactly why you feel stuck. In November 2024, inventory in Surrey was already creeping up, but over the last 12 months, we've seen a noticeable jump. Surrey condo inventory hit 256 active listings, a 4.5% rise year over year. North Surrey climbed to 685 active listings, up 3.6%, and Whalley jumped to 568 active listings, up 4.4%. So picture it this way: at the same time buyers completely disappeared, listings increased. Downward pressure plus upward supply equals the nightmare combination for sellers. This is why your condo sits. This is why price reductions are common. This is why buyers take their sweet time, and this is why your traffic at your showings are soft. The math is not in your favor. Next, we're gonna move on to price per square foot, which could be the most important number in the entire video. HPI is useful, but price per square foot tells us how buyers value the actual space. Over the last 12 months, Surrey's price per square foot dropped to $577 per square foot, which is 7.2% lower than 1 year ago. North Surrey price per square foot dropped 10% year over year, and Whalley price per square foot dropped 11.7% year over year. This means buyers aren't just negotiating harder, they're straight up valuing condo square footage less than before. That is a major confidence shift, and confidence drives pricing. If buyers don't believe the space is worth what it used to be, the market doesn't recover until that sentiment changes. Next, we're going to talk about days on market. So here's where some of the pain becomes visible. In November 2024, condos in North Surrey and Whalley were selling reasonably quickly, but by November 2025, the days on market exploded. North Surrey jumped to 45 days, an 80% increase year over year. Whalley jumped 45 days, an 87.5% increase. And Surrey overall sits around 34 days, still significantly slower than last year. This tells us two things. One is buyers have way more options, so they move at their own pace. And two is stale listings are the new normal. So if your listing has been up to 30 to 90 days, you aren't alone. This is the standard experience for Surrey's condo market. Next, we're going to talk about why owners feel they can't sell, they can't rent, or they can't keep it. When prices drop year over year and sales drop year over year and inventory rises year over year and days on market double and price per square foot trends are down, of course you feel stuck. You're not imagining anything. And here's what's actually happening. Your equity is shrinking. Your competition is increasing. Your carrying costs didn't drop. Your buyer pool is much smaller, and your listing is fighting against newer, cheaper, or more attractive units. Meanwhile, mortgage rates are staying high, strata fees climbed, insurance deductibles increased, and rents softened because there's a new supply in Whalley. And this is why I get a lot of owners messaging me saying they feel trapped. And honestly, you kind of are unless you shift your strategy. So next, I'm going to talk about 3 questions that might help you determine your next move. Whether I evaluate a Surrey condo, I use the same 3-question framework. Question 1 is, if you sold today, what's your real net position? You have to forget about the number you want. What is the actual number that you walk away with? The realistic sale price minus the commissions, minus the penalties, and minus outstanding levies. If you're negative, slightly positive, or break even, you need to know that before making any decisions. Next, if you rented it out today, what is your true cash flow? Not your projected rent, not your 2022 rent, not my friend got this last year rent, your actual rent today, minus the mortgage, the strata, insurance, maintenance, vacancy, taxes, whatever else you have attached to the apartment. If you're negative $200 to $800 a month, the question becomes, is the long-term upside worth the short-term bleed? Next, you're going to ask yourself, what's the 5 to 10 year story of this building? Is it near a future SkyTrain? Is redevelopment likely? Is the building well run? Is the CRF healthy? Is the tenant profile strong? Is the area improving or is it declining? If the long-term story is weak, selling can become smarter. If it's strong, holding through turbulence can actually pay off in the long run. So let's talk about what you should do right now. For Surrey and Langley families, condos are usually stepping stones, but the stepping stones can shrink in value very fast. However, this is actually the best market to upsize. Here's why. Condos fell 7 to 10%, whereas townhomes fell about 5 to 6%. Townhomes cost more, so even though it's less percentage, the dollar drop is actually larger. So if your condo dropped $40K, but the townhouse may have dropped $70, you're actually $30,000 ahead by upgrading now. This is the part most homeowners miss because they focus on the loss of their own condo, but forget the discount on the upgrade. If your family has outgrown your unit, this could be a cheaper window. Next, we're going to move on to what investors should do right now. Investors have a different challenge. Cash flow is tight, condo supply is high, price per square foot is dropping, new pre-sales are completing into a weak market. So smart investors rotate out if micro units, investor-heavy towers, buildings with rising fees, locations too close to the SkyTrain noise, and oversupply zones, and into larger 2 to 3 bedroom, concrete buildings, family-targeted layouts, quieter pockets with transit access, and buildings with strong financial history. The market rewards quality and not speculation. So what should you do? Sell, hold, or reposition. Sell if your building has financial issues, your cash flow is deeply negative, your unit competes with too much supply, you want to move into a townhouse, or if you're in an oversupplied Whalley tower. Hold if your building is strong, long-term transit or redevelopment is coming, your negative cash flow is manageable, or your unit is larger and more desirable than most. Reposition if your listing strategy was weak, your photos were bad, your staging was lacking, your tenant profile hurts resale, or your price wasn't aligned with the market reality. A repositioned listing in this market can outperform a stale one by tens of thousands. To wrap things up, Surrey's condo market isn't dying, it's adjusting. The people who get hurt are the ones who don't adjust with it. Your condo is either a wealth building long-term hold or a sinking asset you should exit. Unfortunately, there's not really a middle ground in this environment, And if you want real clarity, no pressure, no fluff, no guessing, you can text me at 604-288-7592. Tell me your address, tell me your mortgage situation, let me know what your goals are, and I can let you know exactly whether you should sell, hold, or reposition your condo, just like I do for my clients every single day. See you in the next video.